Hello friends. So today we will discuss again one very important function in SQL which is known as count function. So the SQL count function is an aggregate function that returns number of rows written by a query, and we can use this count function in the select statement. So we will see. So the count function returns the number of rows that matches a specified criteria. So there are multiple use cases that are there for count function, and we will first discuss basics only. So for example, we want to find the total number of rows in the marks table. So if you remember, we have created one marks table in which there are 5 columns: name, physics, chemistry, maths, and class, and 8 records. Now I want all the total number of rows inside that marks table. So I will write the query like this: select count star from marks. So if I write query like this, I will get 8, which is the number of rows in the table. So let's discuss this in the SQL Management Studio. So this is the table that we were discussing. There are 5 columns and 8 records. So now I want to find all the rows from this table. So I will write select count from and then table name. So if I execute this query, I will get the total number of rows in this particular table. Now if you see in the final result set, we are not getting any name for the column because we have not given it. So if we are not giving any name, so of course the name will not come. So we can alias this column name as well as. For example, I can, and this is the syntax basically. So I want to name this column as total number of rows. So I can write the query like this: select count star as total number rows. I can give any alias. It's just I have given like this. You can write whatever you wish to write. So if I execute this query, I will get in here where I'm getting no column name, total number rows. So let's execute this query. Yeah. So this is the output if I alias this particular column. Now let's see the syntax. So this is the syntax: select count, column name, from, table name, and where condition. So we can give a where condition as well. For example, I may be interested in only those rows where class is 10, or where name is some particular name only. So I can give any condition as per the requirement. So add a where clause. So we have already discussed that we can add a where clause to specify condition. For example, I want to select all the name. I want to count all the name from marks where class is 10th. So let's see this table that we are discussing: select star from marks. And if I want to count the name, this is how I can write: select count name from marks. So till now I was giving count inside count asterisk, which means all the column, which will give all the count of all the rows. But if I want to get the count from a particular column, I can specify that inside count function. So if I'm saying select count star name from marks, although output will be same because there are unique name, 8 unique names. And also count, if we don't specify distinct inside count, that count all the functions, all the values, irrespective of duplicates, irrespective of null. So we will see that as well as how we can ignore duplicates. But for now, just try to understand: if we are giving the column name inside count function, it will count the value for that particular column. Now we were discussing where clause. Now I want all those names count where class is 10th, and I am giving here alias as well, so that you get the understanding. So this is how I have written the query: select count name as class 10th from marks where class is 10th. So first visualize how many students are there in the class 10th. So you can see there are 3 students who are studying in class 10th. So if I execute this query to count the name of students in class 10th, I will get 3. I will get 3. One very important point that is worth noticing here, if we can specify a column name instead of asterisk symbol, we have already discussed. But if we specify a column instead of asterisk, null values will not be counted. So this is very important. If for certain column there are certain null values, and if I'm specifying that particular column inside count function, then null values will not be counted. To understand this particular use case, I have created one more table. So this is the table that I have created, and by purposefully I have given the class as null for Tony. So if you visualize this table, you can see there are 9 rows. So if I just execute this particular query, select count star from marks to, I will get 9. But if I say select count class from marks to, I will not get 9, I will get 8. So this is the difference, because if we are specifying column name inside count function, then null values will not be counted. Again, we are not saying duplicates, we are saying null values. So this is another use case which is very important to note, because it's very, so these basic points are very helpful when we are analyzing the big data. So we can ignore duplicates as well as by using the distinct keyword in the count function. If distinct is specified, rows with the same value for the specified column will be counted as 1. So let's see. Ignoring duplicates. So if you visualize this table, then there are 8 rows, and there are classes. If I see, there is 10th class, then there is 11th, 12th. So basically there are 3 classes. But if I just say if I just use one query, select count class from marks to marks, let's say marks only, I will get 8. So if I'm not saying distinct, it will count all the classes. It will not take into account whether class is repeating. So to find the distinct value, I specifically need to mention distinct inside the count function. So if I use this particular query, if I execute this query, I have written like inside count, I have written distinct. So if I execute this query, the output should give me 3 only, because there are only 3 distinct classes inside this table. So this is the output I'm getting if I'm using distinct function inside count, distinct keyword inside count function. Again, one very important part that I already discussed in the above query, we can use alias as well as. For example, again using this SQL statement as example, I'm not getting any column name. So if I give alias, I can write like this, as distinct class. I can give any alias name, it's just for understanding purpose I am given distinct class. So I get distinct class in the final result set. So this is the use of alias that is very useful. So this was all that I wanted to discuss with you for count function. There are advanced use cases of count function that we will discuss in our subsequent videos. So we will discuss other aggregates function in our next video. This is one aggregate function that we have discussed today. I hope you are finding videos useful, and please subscribe the channel if you are finding these videos useful. We will meet you in the next video now. Thank you.